Hey guys, back for another round of stuff. Hopefully you've been doing okay. Like I said, I haven't heard from you, but if you have any questions, please ask. And I'm hoping too that you started from the beginning and worked your way down at this point. The reason why is when I began all this, the first few videos, I was very hands-on as far as what kind of form I wanted you to use, keeping your lats engaged to keep your shoulder girdle in place, things like keeping your abs engaged to keep those hips forward to protect your low back. I'm not as picky the further along we go because I'm hoping that's stuff that you remember, but please remember that stuff if in case you're bouncing around and you didn't start fresh from the beginning. Today's workout, same thing as always, full body functional workout. The last couple ones have been like in-home and Tabata and different things, but I want to get back to the basics. Again, if you still feel beginnerish, keep it to 2 sets. The rest of you guys can work your way up to 3 or 4 sets of each one of these rounds. This first circuit is going to consist of a push-up to double arm row. It's going to be a single leg bridge to really work on glute activation. That's where your power comes from, is in the hips. And we're going to do an ab combo. So follow along, please. The push-up to row is going to look like this. Do each side and then go back down into your push-up. For those of you that cannot do from here, you can put a pad or a towel under your knees and do it from your knees. And that works too, because you want to be able to get enough of these to make it worth it. So definitely start that way and advance to your toes. And make sure you're using a weight where you can maintain stability. If you're using such heavy dumbbells that you're like all off balance and feet are coming up, it's too much. Make sure you're using what you can handle. All right. Now, single leg bridge. Now, in this single leg bridge, you can do it different ways. If you want to get the most out of it and get the best glute activation possible, you want to make sure you keep your hips rounded forward. That way you're isolating as much as you can. In order to do that, you want to keep the other leg tucked this way instead of down here. Otherwise you'll have compensation. And it's just there. And you can poke back there. That's what you want, hard as a rock. If you're getting some cramping in your hamstring, you may just have to foam roll first, or you may not be getting enough glute activation. And typically what I'll do with clients at that point is we'll do, if you have an outer thigh machine present, you can use that, because we need to get the medial glute firing first, sometimes before the glute max does. If you don't have a outer thigh machine, you can use a band around the knees and do a motion called a clamshell, where it's this way, because you want to get the medial glute which runs across. So that's always an option. So getting good at glute activation, and you can alternate or do one side at a time, whatever's easier. But make sure both sides are firing. Just because one is firing good doesn't mean the other is. We have compensations and imbalances and dysfunction all throughout our body. One side is not always as good as the other. All right, and then the third exercise is just an ab combo. We're going to do a combination of bicycles and side bends. So give me like 10 to 15 of these. We're working obliques. Side bends, crunch up, and then basically just heel touches. We're working those obliques but differently. Try and keep your neck as neutral as possible too. If it bothers your neck, you can always support your head lightly and even do that, so that's an option. So, push up to rows, single leg bridge, bicycles and side bends. Give me 2 to 4 sets. I'll see you on the next circuit. Thanks. All right. Let me get this set up real quick. This next circuit is going to be an incline cable fly, a wide row, both using this piece of equipment, and then something called a pendulum lunge. So just remember on the incline fly, this machine pretty much keeps you from having bad form on this, but just be aware that you don't want to bypass where your elbow and your shoulder cross. So don't go back too far, you'll put too much unnecessary strain on the shoulder girdle. And we're going to aim kind of upward. There we go. Keep your head nice and neutral. Really get flexion at the top there. You can even squeeze it for a second if you want. So you really get a good pump. And I recommend only doing flies on cable machines, cable or suspension cables. Dumbbells, they're just too risky and there's too much that can go wrong. A lot of people stay away from flies these days, especially in the training business, unless it's done on a pec deck machine where it's nice and controlled, or something like this where you can't go back too far. There's just too much that can go wrong on dumbbells. So that was the incline fly. Next we're going to do a wide row. We're going to grab a crisscross. So the angle of force is hitting the muscles that we really want in that upper back. You're getting rear delt, rhomboid, maybe part of your lat. Definitely part of your traps too, even if it's just isometrically. If I sound funny, allergies. Right now we got serious ragweed problems in Texas. So I apologize, hopefully you can hear me okay. Pendulum lunge. One leg stays fixed, the other leg is in motion. So you go forward and backward. This one stays fixed until you're ready to switch. You can add weight to this, but essentially you really don't need to unless you're doing this one for size, because this one actually is really intense enough by itself. And now I'm going to switch. Last one. All right. Incline fly, wide row, pendulum lunge. 2 circuits down. We got 1 more to go. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So we're going to use this machine for 3 if you count the seat. We are going to do a seated cable curl using this row machine. We're going to use it for triceps afterward, a standing tricep press, and then bench crunches off the side. So curls, just keep the humerus part of your arm pretty level and just aim for the ears. Notice only my forearms are moving. I'm not moving my shoulders up and down. I'm trying to stay pretty parallel, so I isolate these biceps. Now I'm going to hit tricep. You can even sit if you want. In fact, I might do that just so you guys can see me. It's amazing what you can do with these simple cable machines and all the different exercises, even what they weren't designed for, if you can get creative. Nice tricep burn. and crunches off the bench. And again, I mentioned before, you can hold on or you can not. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Something like this, it's not weighted. I usually recommend just go until you're burning. Don't focus on a number. There we go. So, same thing, 2 to 4 sets. So I've given you 3 circuits on this workout. Hopefully you enjoy it, have fun. It's not worth it sometimes unless you're having fun. You really want to get in a place in your fitness journey where even if you don't think of it as fun, if you miss a couple days, your body really craves it, and that's where you'll know you're in a good place. Hit me up with any information. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.